To underscore the fact that my interest was not to make an exhibition that is predicated on one totalizing structure, one monolithic, homogeneous theme, but to provide a concept that, as it were, is a kind of a ground through which a series of frames can really be positioned. And those frames I call filters. There are 3 filters. The filters are not meant to be read as themes, but as passages, as ways through one moves through the body and the shape of the idea and the exhibition and the works and so on. The first filter was Garden of Disorder. And this filter takes off specifically from the history of the Biennale itself. I began with talking about how legendary the Biennale is, and it is legendary. President Barata concluded by talking about an exhibition on the archive of the 1999 Biennale, and the anticipation that the archive of the Biennale will become available online. And so I tried to use that archive as a kind of starting point of thinking, not in a literal sense, but on the really using the site of the Biennale as one way to engage this question of disorder. I think that the pavilions reveal the wounds of history, they reveal the shadow histories, the Giardini, in a sense, is a dense space of fragments, of residue, of debris, and of course, if you recall, it was the idea of debris in Walter Benjamin's reading of Paul Klee's Angelus novels that we started. So this sense of debris, the Garden of Disorder, provides the framework to look back to the Biennale, but also to think historically in the present. And that's, in a sense, the articulation of this sense of disorder in the exhibition really unfolds on multiple levels. It's not only in the Giardini, it kind of goes through, the different lines of thinking in the exhibition. Then the second filter, reading capital, in a sense provides not only a topic of immense importance today, but also a framework within the body of the exhibition itself through the arena. And the arena being what I would call the central nervous system of the building. And this, again, really represents where a number of things occur. The arena represents the space of our common work, and I'm hoping that you will all have the opportunity to spend time there, listen to the readings. As dry as Marx might be, I think Marx could also be very funny, enjoyable, even if a lot of the reflection is based on a series of abstract concepts about economic theory and so on. Then the third filter, liveness or epic duration, tries to sort of underscore how, the fact, or to seek a reconciliation between the time and the space of the exhibition, the temporality of the exhibition and the spatial disposition of the exhibition. How can we make these two things coincide? How can we not make the exhibition decay as it ages, as it goes forward towards its conclusion? And that's why we've introduced a range of live projects across the entire exhibition, both in the Giardini and in the Arsenale, where there will be continuous recurrence projects that take on this theme of orality, the art of the song, and so on and so forth. So, those are the 3 filters of the Biennale. Now to the exhibition proper. I think the exhibition itself unfolds with a number of propositions. One of the principal propositions has to do with the weight of words. Words before language. and language towards meaning. So when you approach the Central Padiglione Centrale, as it's called, what you see those words and the way they build on other words, into the Sala Chini, the octagon, with the text, drawings and paintings of Fabio Mauri and the sculpture, and then of course through the passageway with Christian Boltanski's The Coffin Man, in which the very strangulation of words, the impossibility of utterance becomes not only just simply guttural, but also physical in a sense. So the exhibition has been really made as a series of narrations and so on, and really to provide each work the space that it needs to make its statement, to present its aesthetic position. So what I would like to just simply say, instead of going through the entire exhibition, is to say to follow your path, to make your path. It's also an exhibition full of sounds and cacophony. And it's intentional. It's intentional to disturb the tranquility of the exhibition space. It's intentional to disturb the sense that the art, that the space of art is a hermetically sealed vessel. So as you walk through the exhibition with all the clattering and the noises that you will hear, the point is that you have to find your own sense of balance. You have to find your own sense of focus to be able to pay attention to what is important, to what is meaningful to you as an observer. And now we go into the Arsenale, similarly, words. Luminous in many ways through the work of Bruce Nauman, and then, of course, voice, the work of Aloran Casadilla. So the architecture itself has been designed as a series of flows. That is the way, that one of the things that David said to me when he first gave me a proposition is to disappear the columns, and therefore to create a space that seems immediately neutral, but in which you discover the building as you walk through it, and so on. It's been really, really marvelously effective. So you have voids, you have detours, you have spaces of compression, you have throughways, and then of course you have these spaces of roaming, and working through the exhibition. And then of course what I would like to remind everybody that the exhibition is not only in the space of the Coderia and in the central pavilion, but also at the very back, goes all the way to the very back of the Arsenale with Sarah Z's The Last Garden. I encourage you all to take the walk to see everything, not as much as possible, but everything. And with that, I want to thank you all for being here this morning, and hopefully you will have the opportunity to see the rest of the Biennale. Thank you.